The Feminine Pulse Show is a safe and nourishing space
for women who desire to explore their power
and dance with their divine masculine and feminine energies.
We invite you on a journey to embody your feminine,
manifest deeper connections,
and be a catalyst for a harmonious, loving world.
Welcome to the Feminine Pulse Show.
What is the most underused form of power that can absolutely transform your life in an instant?
I love this question. I think the answer is quite easy. It's feminine power.
I think, yes, feminine power is the most powerful form of energy there is out there. It was shocking to me to find that out.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting. And we're seeing now a lot of discussion about the feminine, the rise of the feminine, feminine energy, the yin, and a lot of people are still have no idea what that even means.
Yeah.
And so it's an important conversation to have for sure.
Many women I find have been actually they're in the dark about this. They've been mistaught that feminine means weak, and it is so the opposite of it. And I just can't wait to scream this out and tell people, no, feminine is the most powerful form of energy out there, and you have access to it. And we as women have kind of abdicated our power, not consciously, but unconsciously.
Yeah, and I think there's also that element of preconditioning that we got from society, from our culture, from religion, from social media, from everything, like our upbringing. And I think that's a very key component to take into consideration. And for a lot of women, like you just said, like being in the dark, in a way, like they are in the dark because they didn't have that awareness that existed, because we just been preconditioned to act a certain way because that's what we thought that success looks like, and that's how we need to be doing. And so not recognizing our emotions and putting them down, and always like showing a strong front and just going into battle and hustling and working and doing and doing and doing, like that's the definition of success in our society, and how your family can be proud of you and how you can make a name for yourself, right? And so now, like what we're doing in a way with this beautiful question is unlearning and uncovering that power that is within all of us, right?
Yes, it isn't with all of us. And I think what you just described was this masculine paradigm. And so we want to kind of describe this feminine paradigm. So, I feel like the masculine is very linear, structured, gives us that strength that get things done. And the feminine, and I'm not talking, and we'll do another show on this, feminist or femininity, or I'm talking about the pure feminine energy. It's elusive, it's abstract, it's not weak, it's actually non-linear. It is like what fire is. It can transform, solid into liquid. It can provide light. And we don't get that we have access to this in any moment. It's one way we can tap into that heart center within us and use that energy to bring more joy into our life and other lives and enrich. And this may sound fluffy, but I remember being in the corporate world, Ozma, and the person they talked the most about that was a woman was the woman who brought this soft, generous, kind energy into the space in any moment. It was such a breath of fresh air that allowed her to shine in the corporate world. I don't know if you've had any experiences like that.
I had many experiences like that too. Yeah, totally. Like when you see a woman fully in her feminine power, you feel it. And like one of my favorite quotes is like, what you don't see, you cannot be. And so I think that's why like this type of conversation is really important, and allowing and giving permission for women to give themselves to tap more into this feminine energy that we all have, no matter our gender, no matter who we are. Like we all have masculine, feminine energy in us. Like it's the yin and yang duality that we have in the world. Like there's day and night, there's like dark and light, and then there's feminine and masculine. We just being preconditioned to overuse our masculine to the detriment of our feminine, thinking that it was weak, where both forces matter. But it's like everything. If you imbalance anything, it's not good for you. And so, like, it's really finding that balance within yourself and that harmony within yourself. And I think with a lot of women, and when we call it feminine power, is like because we have been acting a certain way that is not our own feminine essence, we ended up completely misaligned with who we are, and we completely start playing a role. And the moment that you align yourself with your true essence, which is your feminine, that's when your power shows up. And I love the example you just shared, because the feminine power is very graceful. So you are graceful while being very powerful. So you don't need to create conflict in order for you to be right. And you don't need to stand up and shout for you to take your place. So there's this beautiful art in it. Like there's this beautiful flow in it, this beautiful cycle within it. There is that inner discovery of yourself and being able like to go from inside to outside instead of outside to inside, like we do with the masculine, with the validation and the structure and the goals. And so, yeah, so it's a very interesting inner discovery, I'll say, with the feminine power.
And when you were saying that, it struck a chord in me about, we have these two energies. They can work together and dance together too, like partners.
Exactly.
And what you're saying, when you go within and you tap in to that intuition, to that heart center, to the nurturing, to what is in alignment, and then you inform your masculine side about that, the masculine to take it into action. And then that is perfect alignment. And you dance with it. And sometimes you need to just step back and slow down so you can hear that inner wisdom, so that you can take care of yourself and garner that energy to shine in the world. And men write songs about the feminine. You light up my life. You are my sunshine. When she walks into a room, she just lights it up. Or you've heard them say it, the men, they know how powerful we are. And the men who are in their healthy masculine adore this. They know it fuels them. They know that's the place that they can come get light. And that's how powerful we are, in our feminine. And, women have so much power, with just one look at a man, one of those disapproving looks, we can shrink his ego to nothing. And they know that too. So we have to be responsible with this great power at the same time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I guess like when we circle back to what is the definition of feminine power for a lot of women that are not clear about it, I I think the main thing or the main difference that I see is like when we are in our masculine, we are in a mode of doing, and when we are in our feminine, we are being. And so it's learning to slow down, it's learning to surrender, it's learning to witnessing our emotions and befriend them and be okay with them. It's connecting to our intuition, it's connecting to our body wisdom. Um, because no emotion is negative or positive, it's neutral, it's just a wave. And so like with the feminine, I always think about water and wave, and with the masculine, like I see fire. But I love how you said that feminine can be fire. So that's the beauty, is like we can all have different interpretation of what feminine and masculine means to us, and the images that we want to connect it to, right? And that's what lies the real true power of each one of us.
And I think this is a great place to pose a question to leave people with, which was, how would you describe your feminine power
Yes.
for yourself?
Yeah.
And knowing that it may evolve, that you're not
Yeah.
locked in, but where are you today with it? And what's possible in the future is
Yeah.
something to just rest into. There is no right answer with the feminine. It's not a right or wrong world. It's a heart-centered place to be. It's living from our heart and living from that heart intelligence and letting our emotions inform us, not react us or make us react. It's like, oh, I'm having a reaction. What does my heart really want? What does my heart really need? What is my heart really saying? What's underneath all that reactionary stuff? And it's a deeper, richer place to live from that can enhance your world, your sense of peace, your self-esteem, and the world at large. Because as you grow into that power, you can amplify its effect out in the world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, and I think the last piece I'll add to the question is sprinkle some creativity and imagination to it if you want to be in your feminine. So what shape? What is its shape? What is its color? And you can do the same with the masculine energy too within you, but like for this, like really focusing on the feminine, and because we want to uncover that and we want to activate that power that's already within you. And so yeah, add some imagination to it. Like, what is its shape? What is its color? If it was a movement or dance, what does it look like? If it was nature, an element of nature, what is it? Like, just go and play with it.
What
Just
does it
go
smell like?
within. Yeah, exactly. Bring all the senses. Yes, totally. Yeah, at the end of the day, is that voyage. I'll call it, like with my little French. It's like that journey within. It's like uncovering and discovering who you are within yourself. Like that's the beautiful energy of the yin, right? It's that life force.
I love that. Voyage and bon voyage into your feminine. I love it.
It's so perfect. Amazing. Well, I think that wraps up our episode.
Enjoy it. We'll see you next time. And we'll even talk about perhaps if you're ready to be in your feminine and how to get ready.
Exactly. Love it. Thank you for being part of our community.
Listen to the next episode of Feminine Pulse on your favorite podcast app.
We welcome your questions and have some amazing gifts for you
at femininepulse.com.